CosmicRadio.TV.
Welcome to Cinematalkraphy. We watch movies with you so you don't have to.
Welcome to Cinematography. I'm your host, Roberto Vegas, joined by...
Brand Hughes.
Is that your zombie voice?
No, I mean, well, that was just a scary voice.
That's your scary voice?
Yeah.
Because
I was going to do kind of zombie, but then I figured it was going to be a little too close to my ghost voice from last week.
Brad Hughes.
Yeah. I guess zombie would have been a little bit different.
Well, because we are still in
the October SCARE-ATHON.
Thank you. Now, we're covering a lot of horror movies. Obviously, last time we did this, we did House of the Devil.
Yeah.
And this time, we're doing probably my second, maybe third favorite Edgar Wright film.
For me, this probably ranks second.
It's second or third in terms of this. Obviously, in the Cornetto trilogy, this is the first, that being Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, me too.
But in that whole trilogy, this is my second ranked film. Just gonna love Hot Fuzz so much. But that being said, we're doing Edgar Wright's Shaun of the Dead, starring
a modern classic.
Yep, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Before we even continue this, did you watch Space back in the day? Or at least watch it off DVD later on when it came
I
back?
eventually watched it on Netflix when it came to that.
I watched it on DVD, and I wish I had saw that when it came on real, in a bit grander fashion, because it was totally up my alley. Because I got into Shaun of the Dead. I'll say this. I'll say I got to Shaun. We'll talk more about this in the commentary. Through not so legitimate means. But we'll explain that as we get into it.
Sure.
You know what? Let's just get into this. Count us off, sir.
Okay, so this is how it works. We're going to play an audio excerpt from this week's film, typically with 3 distinct beats, and we'll all start the film from the 0-second mark on the final beat of that sync cue. That way we stay synced to your viewing experience. Sound good? Here we go.
And we begin with the... Isn't this the song, the music from one of the famous zombie movies? Like, I think this is from like one of Romero's things.
Maybe.
Well, cause
I haven't seen any of like the real
like
classic stuff.
Well, because like a lot of there's a lot of those very much notes and nods to some of the classic zombie films and stuff like that. That's what I love about freaking Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg as writers, is that they'll make a lot of these weird references that we dug. To anytime you can use the specials in a movie, I'm in.
The specials.
That's the people who did this song right here, Ghost Town.
Okay.
No, it's such a great song.
So are you like a big fan of the specials? Just in general?
I'm a huge fan of ska and two-tone ska back in the 80s is such a great moment of ska. I think that's the one thing I loved about this movie the most was the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Because it's a mix of like all these sort of really cool musical cues, and just the way they kick into it all. It's so great. Good.
Yeah, I feel like Edgar Wright's always been really good with sound design and scores and stuff like that. Yeah, because it all plays into his kinetic kind of poppy filmmaking.
Yeah. So when it came to this movie coming out for the first time go around, I can't remember how I heard about this movie. I think a friend of mine had told me that there's this comedy zombie film out of England, and you've got to see it. It's called Shaun of the Dead. And we didn't have it in, we didn't have, how do I say, we didn't have it in our own theaters at all, and it didn't hit our neck of the woods in Laredo, Texas.
Right.
So we had to. I had said to myself, and I never did this. I never wanted to pirate this film because I really didn't pirate much back then. I basically said, I basically downloaded this film the first time go around, and I said, when it comes out to theaters, I will delete the file, and I will go watch it in theaters. And I did, actually. It was my limited, like I still have a burned copy somewhere, but I think I even like broke and snapped that burned copy. Because this is like when I watched this, I was like, I feel so bad that I'm pirating this. Because I would watch this in theaters, but I can't watch it in theaters.
Right.
It was like a catch-22. It was like, I want to pay you money, but I don't know how to pay you money.
Yeah. It's a mighty unfortunate circumstance to be caught in. When I first saw it, it was not entirely unlike that. I think when I first saw it, I had never heard of it, and then I found a disc among many discs in our home that had scrawled across it in handwritten Sharpie, Shaun of the Dead. I was like, what's this? And I watched it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of my introduction to bootlegged movies.
By the way, can we comment on this intro sequence right here?
Sure.
Because this is so fucking well done.
Yeah.
I love what it comes into into everyone doing the same, because you see a lot of these characters again as zombies. By the way, I love this scene right here, and it's such a damn good job. Let me just say this.
Yeah.
That. By the way, when we get there, I will point out the space reference when we get to the some of the scenes.
All right.
If you've never seen Space, you never know this reference. It's amazing. But I love all the stuff this movie. I love everything about it. It's such a it was such a great movie to have.
Yeah. He knew that everybody would come in knowing that, this is a horror, this is a zombie thing. And so, like, him playing with expectations at every possible opportunity is so great. And then having the meta commentary of, just suburban life as zombies is great. And our first extreme close-up montage of the film.
I want that to happen in my life.
What, an extreme close-up montage?
Yes. Because I love about this scene is that it's all like common mundane tasks.
Right, yeah.
It's not like anything exciting. It's just like spreading jam on toast, getting the milk, drinking some tea.
Yeah. Did you ever see the somebody cut together all of Edgar Wright's extreme close-up montages together in one giant extreme close-up montage?
Are you serious? No, I have not seen
amazing.
it.
It's like 5 minutes long.
Oh my God, that's fucking amazing.
It's so great.
That's fucking amazing, dude. No, but this movie, when it came out, it was just fucking surprising me. It was just like, this is so, like, it's referential where it needs to be referential. It's funny because ultimately this is a romantic comedy. Like, this is a romantic comedy with zombies. Yeah, and it's a good romantic comedy first and foremost. Mm-hmm. And the zombies, if this had been any other hands of any other director, it's funny. We talked about the last time we talked about with his Edgar Wright. Like, this last time we talked about this whole director was. I guess it would have to be what? Was it Hot Fuzz or was it
Scott Pilgrim?
Scott Pilgrim. Was that Scott Pilgrim, I think? Yeah. I think I don't know if we pulled the Hot Fuzz pin or not.
We have not.
Okay. It's been such a long time since I thought about that. But we talked about this with Scott Pilgrim. We had mentioned, like, the hard part was that Edgar Wright as a director really knows his material. Yeah. Like, he's very familiar with all these things. And sorry, I'm just like, I'm loving some of these lines, like everything that comes, like I love it.
Forgot about this joke.
I didn't. But yeah, I love how this whole thing kicks in. But yeah, Edgar Wright as a director, when you watch this film, it's so like it's dripping with style. It's dripping with everything. Yeah. I love this too because only because we've seen this now, everything's foreshadowed. Like we see a lot of these characters again and come in, and it's really cool how he'll do that. How he'll foreshadow these sort of actions. Like right now, everything's kind of mundane. Everyone thinks it's cool, but we're doing the same sweep in that we did that. 2, this is a great continuous shot. I haven't seen a cut yet. Have you seen a cut?
In this shot specifically, no. I mean, this is a pretty long one, which is great.
Yeah, I haven't seen it any kind of place where they can even hide a cut. I think we got a cut over. I don't know if we even get a cut here.
And it's also interesting. It looks like this might have been shot on a. Obviously it was probably shot on a cinema lens, which has a declicked aperture ring.
Yeah.
So they come into the.
There's a cut.
You come into the store and you see the aperture shifting, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Just on a production side.
But even then, it's such a great shot because again we see a lot of these things. We see a lot of our kind of future zombie characters.
Yeah,
and even Shaun's a bit of a zombie right now.
Yeah, and it's great how they're already starting to be quite pale.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. Like I definitely dig all the stuff that happens in this movie. All right, I think it's time. Favorite British slang word?
I mean, the one I probably use the most is chuffed.
Chuffed?
Yeah.
Wow. See, for me, I think it's git. Git is my favorite.
That's a good one.
Stupid git and that kind of thing. And I mean, I hear enough now of British slang between.
Oh yeah, I guess you are kind of
between
exposed to that a bit
between the Rishi content and me doing stuff now for the British Tech Network.
Yeah.
With Charlotte, that I hear a lot more now. And then there's a
that was such a smooth wiped transition.
Oh, they're all very smooth.
Yeah.
I love like all these things that are here. And what's even cool, also what's really cool about this is how they're seeding, watching the second time, you see that they're starting to seed the rest of the world, and that there's something going wrong, like with the fact that there's all these like news stories of something going down.
Yeah, some kind of outbreak, something going on. Yeah.
I'm also amazed at all the talent they pulled into this. Like, because as I've gotten more into British stuff, I've learned how fucking amazing Bill Nighy is.
Yeah.
How awesome of an actor he is. I mean, he's been in other Edgar Wright stuff for sure, but like you start seeing him in things like what is it? Pirate Radio. At least that's the U.S. title for that film.
Right.
He's amazing in that too.
Mm-hmm.
I love this too. I've never done this with a girl, but I will say there have been times where I've had my girlfriend call me that I've been in the middle. I was dating this girl, right? And I got really into this video game called Guild Wars back then.
All right.
And I would sometimes forget to call her because I'd be in the middle of a campaign, middle of a session of some sort.
Yeah, you got your priorities.
Got my priorities, so to speak. And she'd call me, and she'd know that I was in the session because I'd be like, "Hey, baby, how's it going?" Yeah. And she's like, you're playing Guild Wars, aren't you? Yeah. I'll call you back. And she'd hang up kind of angry.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me would say, fuck, I pissed her off. But I'm in the middle of a session. I'm in the middle of a fucking PvP session. I can't get out of this. And the thing is, like, she'd be fine with it because I'd be like, I'm sorry, babe. I'm in the middle of game, and what can I do?
Classic Roberto.
Pretty much. Just, like, knowing the priorities where it stands.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I love that we already start seeing some of the things happen.
Yeah.
Here's our first space reference. This character was actually the girl that he hung out with. He moved in with. I forgot her character's name in Spaced.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
Although, I mean, if you're gonna say references, it's a pretty loose reference in that Edgar Wright uses a lot of the same people.
There is really, like, okay, I'll put it this way. We're not quite there yet, but there's a point where we see a zombie in the distance and it's fucking tires. I'll point it out when we get there because it's so amazing when you see it. By the way, they're playing Perfect Dark. They're playing either Perfect Dark or they're playing, I forget what game they play, but they play like one of the first-person shooters from the PS1 era. I think it might be Time Shooter or something like that.
But yeah, I don't know if this is a particularly intentional thing, but just we were talking about the foreshadowing earlier.
Yeah.
Going back to, a lot of those same characters in same locations with the same movements and same paths. Not only does that sort of create a little bit of just like atmospheric tension in there being, a really apparent and clear, distinct way to show that something is off because it's different than how we saw it. But also it also definitely plays into the mundanity of, your suburban 9-to-5 life.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, because right now Shaun has definitely got into a bit of a rut in life. I think even, I mean, definitely, Shaun's gotten into that right now, and it kind of sucks that because out of all the Edgar Wright characters, I think I've liked Shaun the best. Shaun's been one of those few characters that I can kind of relate to at times. Getting into a rut, sort of being stuck, maybe not necessarily, in sort of I guess in his case, a dead-end job, but sort of not even sure how to break out of whatever he needs to break out of.
Yeah.
I love that. That is my favorite. I did not call Ty a failed actress. Like, I love that that's the line. Like, no, I did call that motherfucker a twat, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love Edgar's.
This is my favorite insult right here. I love this right here. I love that line. I want to say that, even though I have glasses, I so want to say that to somebody one day. Just yell, "Get fucked, 4 eyes." I I'm sorry I paused you on that one. I just had that's like one of my all-time favorite lines. The entire movie is the "get fucked for us."
No, it's great. But yeah, I love Edgar's balance between, your typical build up tension, release tension, particularly in a kind of, not necessarily fake release of tension, but he leads you down one path and then subverts your expectation to that, and then he has such great comedic timing that somehow fits in with all of this balance,
right?
Which is really interesting and impressive.
Yeah, no, I mean that's why I again it's such a great thing, and this is like my first like introduction to a lot of these characters and a lot of these actors. So, God, I'm sorry. I love the rain. I love all the stuff that's already kicking in right now. I'm trying to find the character stuff for Spaced. Here we go.
Well, some of us are watching the movie.
Well, some of us are making sure that we're referring things correctly. Pig snacks? I mean, we've all been in this situation with our friend having a girl break up with him, right? We've all had that happen. I've had that happen, at least.
Probably.
I've usually been in Shaun's position, but
yeah.
I love this. This is so great. Here's a great line. Sorry. Who the hell put this on? I love this. This is my next favorite close-up right here. The taking the shots. Hey, question.
Yeah.
I wonder if some of those bars were actually part of the bars in whatchamacallit? In End of the World or
The World's End.
World's End.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I
think there is reference to some of this.
Because he said a bar. He said like the King's Head and the Little Princess. I don't know if I'd have to really look back at the bars.
Yeah.
I also love this too. I love the adding stories to these characters.
Yeah.
This is great. This is my favorite one right here. Getting sucked into the film.
Yeah.
But because again, I'm kind of waiting for certain shots, much like we do always. Like that seems to be the common thread of the show is that I wait for certain shots to talk about.
But there's value here, Roberto.
There is, but a lot of it because it's right now we're building up. Like here's our first zombie.
Mm-hmm.
I love such a great execution of that line. Nice, dude. Also a great song, by the way. So the problem is, I kind of feel like I need to sing at the same time too. But I know your opinion on saying lines during the movies.
Yeah. Because then, if anybody's track is even slightly off, then it just compounds the problem.
I know, but it's just because this is such a great musical scene right here. Mm-hmm. You know, like What's great is the song version of this on the CD has this as the opening part.
Oh, really?
The White Lines, made by, who is it? Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah.
It's electro, you prick. Also, again, all this like the music is what makes this movie, I think, for me. I mean, the references do too, but the music's so top notch.
I mean, it certainly contributes a ton.
Also, he plays a dick in Spaced as well. So, do you want the clean version of that says? The clean version has, as opposed to fucking, it has funky. I gotta go to. It's 4 in the funky morning. I gotta go to funking work in 4 funking hours because every other something in our funkers is funking ill. And can you see why I'm so funking angry? Funk yeah. Some other favorite clean lines of mine. From what's that fucking movie called? With The Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah.
This is what happens when you meet a stranger in the Alps. And of course, I probably said this before, but my all-time favorite one still is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's a piece of tin. It's not a piece of tin. It's a piece of tin. I don't even have a piece of tin. I have to envy yours.
Man, clean dubs are the worst.
They are. They really, truly are. Because it's just like, why?
Who thinks that's a good idea?
People that want to play it on television, and that's it. And what's great about the DVD, the Blu-ray and the DVD, if you have the copy of this on that, they actually have a clip of the clean version, like of clips of the movie on the DVD.
Yeah.
So when you're done listening to his commentary, go and watch that extra feature because you hear some of the most ridiculous lines. They actually have a lot of cool extra hidden Easter eggs in the Blu-ray. Foreshadowing.
God, every line of this movie.
Yeah. Here also is a great shot, and I don't quite know I can guess how they did it.
All right, let's figure it out. Is it this shot? Is it coming up?
It's coming up. You know what shot I'm talking about.
I'll probably know when I see it. I don't remember.
It's the transition shot. That's such a great transition.
That is pretty great.
I can bet that they just, blasted a bright light.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a great go around. I love that, the mission statements.
Yeah, so I'm pretty fairly certain they did just have the lights set up outside to make it look good. But if I'm not mistaken, and it's one of those things where you would have to like stop it down and really pick it apart. But I think they also were clever about it and put some lights kind of off to the side that would just barely show up on to accent some objects, as if light were coming in through other windows in like other rooms that you couldn't see.
Now I want to point out this is the exact same panning idea, same exact shot. In fact, we see some characters from the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we saw that guy walk by. We of course see the exact same store. I think even the music cuts off into some emergency stuff later on. But it's literally like the exact same shot, and he goes, like he's changing his life though. Look, he's like, Coke. You know what? I'm gonna go with the healthier option, the Diet Coke. Slips in some blood. No, yeah, you catch a lot of stuff. Like if you start looking at it, it's very much like it's the exact same thing.
Yeah,
he gets the cornetto. That's the emergency feed going there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Nelson in the background. I think he's zombified Nelson.
Yeah.
We've got our other characters. If you look closely, you'll see some of the. I think you see the kid eventually too.
Yeah.
There's our first cornetto.
Yay!
That's the strawberry one for the blood.
Yeah, we saw the trilogy over at the Draft House.
Yeah, that was really fun too.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to.
That's what earlier this year.
Yeah, when we saw End of the World. We saw there.
Yeah.
There's our bum.
Yep.
He's like, such a great transition too. What's great is that as of late I started now watching a lot of Premier League soccer, so a lot of this is there. What's great, also a lot of the stuff they have extended versions on the DVD as well. That music portion you saw there, the extended version has Shaun and Nick Frost as like the musicians of that scene, which is bizarre as all hell. But not them, like as different characters, like kind of a YouTube band. Like they say that the drummer got like zombie bitten later on.
Oh, interesting.
So we've probably tackled this before on other. I've tackled this on various other shows. I think we've probably tackled this on even this show, but it bears rementioning anyways. What is your zombie apocalypse contingency plan?
Oh, I mean, obviously you have to stock up on food stuff as quickly as possible and as much as possible. Man, like honestly, I'd probably die pretty fast.
I think I would too. I mean, I have a plan, but my plan is because every geek and his worth his grain of salt has a contingency plan, so to speak. But I don't have one that's even useful.
I'd probably drive back up to Dallas, hang out with family.
I probably would drive to Laredo and hang and curl up there as best I can. If nothing more, then that'd be my mission. Because if I'm gonna die in the apocalypse, I want to make sure I see my family.
Sure.
One last time.
Edgar Wright posted that photo that he took.
Really?
Yeah, like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Mary.
I mean, I'm sure it's been released prior to that, but I saw it just recently.
I'd love to see that picture.
It's pretty good.
No. I love this effect too. It's so effective. I mean, it's in terms of CG effects, it's pretty easy to comp it out, but it's so effective.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you see them in the shot.
Yeah.
For that. And that guy we've seen before. I forget what the emergency line is in England. I love this. Are they still out there? The delay. The delay is what it is. Have a sit down. Again, because he didn't lock the door. And they know what they did. What's funny is that neither of them think about it.
But
the idea of them being with zombie, like it's funny, these guys, because they almost say the whole don't use the Z word, you know, or the Z word for those who are not British implied. I would figure that these guys would know everything about zombies by the, like, these two characters should know that their stuff about zombie movies and like, oh shit, it's zombies.
Yeah, you'd think.
That's the one thing that always bugged me about this movie, is that they never seem to be aware of what they're doing.
Well, I think at least, especially early on, you know, they are, you know, they are willing to accept any other explanation other than zombies.
Right.
So.
I mean, obviously at the get-go it's fine, but now that it's been revealed what's going down, I love how they just start throwing things. They're just like, just throw whatever. One of the things, like, one of them bounces off the head. It's such a great thought. Like, it makes it the toaster is what it is. Like, it just bounces like boop. Like that's gonna do it. That's the second album I ever bought. And then they start going. This is also a great scene because now it's like music judgment.
Sure.
Oh my God! No way. Throw it. It's like it's now you get to judge the bad music he has.
Yeah, and this feels like such an Edgar Wright
Yeah,
moment.
it is. I thought you said it was locked. And like now there's like all sorts of cool tools and implements in the shed. And we see my all-time favorite weapon. That being the cricket bat.
Yeah. Iconic.
It's my all-time favorite zombie bashing weapon now. Is between that and a katana, to be honest.
Katana is good.
They would later add a cricket bat, I think, after this movie to... I don't even know if Left 4 Dead had come out, but when they added melee weapons, they had a cricket bat in there for this. I love this. When they think about it.
Yeah, I love their test to see whether he's
That's a
there
lovely.
or not. Yeah.
There it is. Now he thinks of his whole thing. So this line is a reference coming up to Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
The "We're coming to get you, Barbara." That's actually a direct line. I love this. That's a direct reference right there. It's so great. I love these scenes too, these montages as to what the plan's going to be.
Yeah, I mean these are all great extensions of his extreme close-up montage.
Well, because the greatest part of it is how quickly The best parts is how short the killing Philip scenes get.
Right, yeah.
All right, okay.
So one of the things that I really admire about this film and most of Edgar's films, which I personally have a very hard time with, which I guess is probably why I'm not a writer in any great regard, is just having really distinct characters and having them like very well realized. And here, every dialogue and every action is motivated by these.
Well, that's a sign of a good writer, and
sure.
And it's hard to definitely do that, to do fully realized characters. I mean, I've taken a stab at writing myself and trying to get more into it, but it's hard to. Here it is. That's what they are. But I like how they at least approach it, because most movies will either have that word not exist in the lexicon, and that the concept of zombies would exist. But this what I like is like, no, that's ridiculous. They can't be zombies,
right?
But there's something.
Mm-hmm.
There's our montage. Again, I love that action. It's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Oh no.
And all the way up till that cut was a pretty long take as well.
Yeah. I love this scene. What do you think he's more scared of? The fact that he's a zombie, or the fact that he's naked and a zombie?
It's a good question.
Because he was like scared, but
yeah,
he'd already killed a man.
Yeah.
Never do that. If we've learned anything from Left 4 Dead, never make sounds.
Sure. The witch is gonna show up.
Fuck the witch. You got the horde. See, I love it. I love all these things. I love this. All the dead. Everything is all get weird.
Yeah, it kind of mirrors earlier in the film when you are seeing all of the signs of things going wrong. It's just now we're
in shit
up front.
Yeah,
about
we're
being wrong.
We're in the shit, if you will. It's still, again, this is such a great way of doing this kind of film. I love it. I love it so much because it's just like here. They look at him. They already knew that he was. I love it.
It's also kind of hard to sit down and really break it down and be like and have like an intelligent discussion on it when it's such a well put together, like masterfully made film.
Yeah.
That's just every moment is like, what do you say? You're just like, oh yeah, you know, they were really smart when they made this. This is so good.
Well, because like I said, a lot of times when it comes to zombie films, you always have to like every zombie film has sort of their way of like, we got to introduce in mythos. And when I say zombie films, I'm not going to go into the debate of infected versus disease coming back. I'm just going to lump them all together as if this is a swarm of mindless things, they are zombies. I'm not going to go into the minutia of like, no, they're infected or this.
Sure.
Everybody has to make their own universe. Everyone has to almost make an explanation. Like in 20 Days Later, they had to make the whole, well, it was just army kind of thing that happened. Or in Living Dead, it's voodoo and shit like that. What I like about this film is that they don't bother with that because they don't have to worry about explaining where the zombies came from. In fact, at the end of the movie, they only kind of hint like the army thinks it was, you know, some type of solar ray thing or whatever. But they don't. They don't go into like in-depth detail.
Yeah, because it's all focused on the characters and not the circumstances.
Because, like, again, how do you explain to your mother, Mom, the living dead are coming alive, and if you're bitten, you're screwed? How would you explain to your mother the concept of zombies if there was a zombie? Let's say this happened to you. Let's say that the zombie apocalypse is here. You're in Dallas. You're gonna go pick up your mom, and let's say, or you know, your dad or whatever, and like his closest friend who's hanging out with him got bit by one of those guys.
Well, my dad is not only just a huge fan of Shaun of the Dead.
Ah, shit.
But zombie films.
See,
in
my parents, it'd be hard. It'd be hard to kick into my mother. It'd be hard to explain to her. If Dad got bit, he's gone. And I love my dad. He's a great guy. My dad and my mother are probably the most people I love the most. Of course, makes sense. But if my dad got bit, I'm sorry, Dad. This is almost survival, and you would want it that way. You would want to be a mindless zombie. But I love this. I love these scenes. I love it. It's just like
my mom wouldn't be a super hard sell. I would just have to. I mean,
I don't. You know, it's funny. I don't think my parents would be either. Not because they don't believe in zombies, but they watch a lot of CNN and news. So I think they'd get inundated with the living dead coming about and things like that, and be part of the beginnings of it. I think that's what I like about this approach to the way the movie is, because I think it's the most realistic approach to what would happen if a zombie apocalypse broke out. Oh, Jesus. All right. I know we're not car people.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we don't know what kind of car we'd love to drive in the zombie apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of car would you want to drive in the zombie apocalypse?
Specifically in the zombie apocalypse, just like big old semi.
Really, semi?
If I could get it going, right?
Me, I think
just because then I'm unstoppable.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Bigger car for sure. I guess semi would be my thing too. Maybe an RV. Probably an RV would be the car of the apocalypse to happen. Because all you need to do is make sure you find gas sources. Not so much fuel. You could probably even modify to run off biodiesel. Mm-hmm. Diesel RV. Because you could find sources of natural gas. You could probably find propane, or at least figure out a way to harness propane, or at least do other power sources. You could make a diesel generator run off biodiesel, and it's a little bit easier of a renewable resource to deal with. Mm-hmm. Just in terms of doing stuff, plant solids and things like that.
Short bus would be kind of fun too.
Yeah.
Like really deck it out with weapons and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Love this.
What do you think the landscape for these kind of films would look like had Shaun of the Dead not come out? Because, I mean, you look at things like, The Cabin in the Woods, Tucker and Dale versus Evil specifically.
Right.
I'm sure they all take great inspiration from.
I think they might have been. They might have not been able to been pulled off. Like, I think Shaun of the Dead, when it came out, was such a magical, because there have been comedy horror films before. Mm-hmm. But what I love about this movie is that it's its movie. It's what and this is what happens with all the Hot Fuzz films. Yes, it's a horror film, and yes, it's zombies, but it is a romantic comedy at its base. But because it says, what if we took this scenario and said this happens now? Like in Hot Fuzz, it's a buddy cop film. Kinda. It's more of but in like a peaceful town. And what does that mean? And there's all these conspiracy stuff like that. And then the world's end is like, well, what if the end of the world? What if there was the robot invasion, and it was happening while at this one little small town we did a bar hunt and things like that. What happens there? Mm-hmm. And so it's how they it's. I don't think that these kind of movies would have I think they would have existed, but I don't think they would have been as great as they did, just because it's such a well-made idea. Because this is the kind of film I always make the joke like this. Like, my mother would never watch a zombie film. I could probably convince her to watch Shaun of the Dead.
Sure.
Just.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, this was so well put together and resonated with people so well that it kind of paved the way for.
Yeah.
Those.
By the way, I love all their weapons.
Yeah.
Like she's got a I think it's a field hockey thing. He's got an umbrella. She's just got a piece of wood. Mm-hmm. Here it is.
But yeah, films that are coming out today, they at the very least they have a template that worked.
Yeah.
Right. They're not still meandering and searching for some kind of format for it.
Oh, this is so... Also, this is such a greatly acted scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And horror movies haven't been known for having great actors doing, like, scenes like this, you know?
Yeah, doing moving scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great because everybody wants catharsis. So
yeah. I love how he does this. I love this. The child locks. I love how Ed just is totally... And then it becomes apparent that they are defenseless now. So you should have sold him. You should have sold her on the fact that this is a goddamn... I love this right here. But then, of course, the bumping into the other team is great. I wish they had made a movie of the other team.
I'm glad they didn't.
Well, even just like quick scenes, because I would love to have seen...
I mean, maybe like a quick little short film would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I love this right here.
That dude getting eaten?
Just the snake boots. Oh. Just like how far away? We're close. Right here. I want to hear the other team. By the way, is that oh god, who is that? What actor is that?
I want to say
he played fucking the main character in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm. He was also in The World's End.
The World's End and Hot Fuzz as well.
Mm-hmm. I feel like his name is Martin something.
Let's see.
Maybe.
Yeah. I love that. I love the interaction with everyone's counterpart. That's my favorite part. The other team. I so want a movie of the other team, if nothing more than to just have it.
I mean, that movie would pretty much be this movie.
Martin Freeman.
All right, I was right about Martin.
Yeah, Martin Freeman. I think it's Martin Freeman. We're gonna find out right now.
Fun fact.
It is, in fact, Martin Freeman. Yeah, that's right.
Well, there we go. There's a very Ferris Buellerian jump.
I was about to say the same thing too. By the way, my favorite also part about this movie is all the improvised weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what the fuck are you two doing? I love this. This was great. Yeah. It's the first thing he thinks to do. No, that's rubbish. It's like, why would you do that? I love this. This is great. All right, here he comes. I think we're going to see it now, but we may see it later in the scene.
Oh, the cameo?
Yeah, I'll point it out if you see it right now.
This is great.
I know. How many are there? No. Lots. Okay, here he comes. So, if you look closely, where is it? Is it in this scene? It might be in the other scene when they get in the mix. Yeah, when they get in the mix, we'll see it. When they're going through, I'll point it out. I wish I was called Captain WoW.
That's a good name.
It is a good name.
Yeah.
I always remembered that. I was like, because of Captain WoW.
That'd make a good online handle.
Yeah, Captain WoW. I'm surprised. Oh, someone took that.
Yeah, but you had to cut it down for Twitter. CPT WoW.
It's very true. So if no one has a Twitter account, that's your Twitter handle right now. CPT WoW.
Or yes, CPTN WoW. It's probably
that would work.
Yeah, but either way,
let's revert. Let's see if that's not taken. We got to take that for ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna check before I post this. So one way or another, someone's gonna have that account.
Captain WoW, yeah, totally. All right, give me your best zombie.
All right, hold on.
All right. All right, that's pretty good. All right, here's mine. That's pretty good, dude.
Yeah, you really gotta get in.
All right, I'll do mine in a second because we're gonna come to the zombie scene soon right now, and I want to point out right now, if you look closely, as we enter the fray.
Mm-hmm. Hey, there's a motorcycle helmet guy.
Yeah,
he showed up earlier.
Where is he? Where is he? He's coming soon. I think I saw him in the corner, but you see him more cleanly. Fuck, where is Tires? Is that Tire? No, wait, where is he? He's here in the scene. There's Tires right there. The yellow hat.
Huh.
You see him again. Right there. There's Tires. Right?
Yeah.
They have the tire zombie. It's Tires was in this mix. That's what I love about it. So here's my zombie noise. There, yeah. See, it's so great. I love tires in the scene. You see it more cleanly later on. There it is.
I feel like it's a little too clean.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm not terribly good. Just because I know you gotta go.
You need a little bit more gurgle in it.
Oh, see, the problem is I get too throaty.
Yeah, you don't want to go too throaty, but you need some throat in there.
Yeah.
She's just tapping on his shoulder.
He's like, Shaun, what the fuck are you doing? Shaun? I think they cut to a shot of it. I think. There, you see. I love the tire zombie. Like when I caught that the first time, like I caught it the second time go around because I'd finally watched Space at that point. Mm-hmm. But when I was like, oh shit, that's tires. Like it actually is tires, the bag and the hat and everything. Like the idea that tires exist in this universe was enough of like an interesting deterrent for me. I love he sees these. Aww. So, all right.
Yeah.
Any location you can hold up in the zombie apocalypse, what's your preferred location? We've already talked about the home, going there, and things like that. But let's say that you're able to take your family and people you care about into what you perceive as a secured location. Mm-hmm. What is your ideal secure location?
Well, my first idea would be somewhere underground.
Okay. About the same thing here, too.
Like some kind of old bunker.
I was thinking the same thing, like an old missile silo.
Yeah. But then when I think about it a little bit more, I would want something that's pretty highly elevated because zombies can always go down.
It's true.
But it's much harder for them to go up, right?
This is true.
Because I'm sure they could probably get around stairs if they really try. But ladders? Ever seen a zombie go up a ladder?
I never have. That's why I say missile silo, because missile silos like underground bunkers. You seal from the inside. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the ideal would be there's a crap ton of rations,
sure,
and food sources. That we figured out, that there's like a solar room that's able to harness the sun's power to grow food and things like that. Like we essentially live underground while we can and survive.
Basically, find one of those Fallout vaults.
Yep, exactly.
Basically,
yeah. Basically, pull a Fallout series and chill in the vault system and hope to God it's one of the vault tech control ones that we're able to
get
control.
The one with all the Garys.
Yeah, make the one that actually of all the vaults, the one that's a control and not a crazy experiment.
Right.
Where it's like, see if you guys can survive this crazy bullshit experiment that Vault Tech decided to do to test out human civilization.
Man, I could really go for some mini cheddars right now.
I go for some hog lumps. I've always wanted to have some of these things. I need to start. There's so many things out of England that I've wanted to have. Like I've wanted to, ever since I've wanted to have a Jaffa cake.
Sure.
I think we've talked about this last time. Somehow this came up. I forget where Jaffa cake came up. Maybe it was in a personal conversation. Mm-hmm. I may have to start getting some of my friend like Charlotte to send me some of the stuff. I may ask her to do that next time I talk with her next week. Just get her to just send me a British care package of like Jaffa cake and stuff.
Yeah. I want to say one of my high school friends brought Jaffa cakes over while we were in high school, but I wasn't able to try any of them.
It's like hanging around when the power's out. That's so great. I hate that this is like what you got they're doing. You know, it's funny and what's interesting about this film is that we just have a couple of incompetent, like we have like only a handful of these guys that are incompetent. Like if it were Shaun and Liz, I think that they would have. I mean, that everyone, like if everyone else had like kind of calmed down, because like the hard stuff is like coming up soon.
Mm-hmm. The tie adjustment. It's so great.
Simple, David. Be reasonable. I think he said that kind of line. It's quite simple. That sort of tonality. You know, this is such a like scary. Like this is such a great reveal.
Yeah.
I love this. That's so great.
That's about how I would handle it.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, we should get like one of the, like we should make our own CRTV please stand by error page.
Oh, I've wanted one.
That'd be cool.
There's so many things I want. You know, a technical difficulties thing. Thankfully we haven't had to have that yet, but we should definitely. You know what? That's what you guys are hearing this live. If it's in the recording, put that on your to-do list.
Sure.
I'll give.
That was like one of the first things I made for Brian.
I'll give you all. You'll have access to the assets soon.
Oh yeah.
That's being indexed anyways right now. I love this. Oh, this is such a great scene coming up. This is great right here. Because now it's apparent that things are not copacetic and you know, things are not happy.
It's also very striking imagery.
Oh, it is.
I mean, I guess that is kind of a very classic zombie imagery.
Oh, yeah.
Just all of the hands up against a window, but...
Shit. Kill the queen. What's great about this scene is how musically timed it is.
Yeah.
Catch this. Apparently, in the scene, I heard in the commentary, they actually had headphones in, like monitors, to keep in rhythm.
Oh, really?
Yep. Because it's such a great scene.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, like the best part is when you see Diane and Shaun's mother, that they're like bouncing in the rhythm. Because they're not even in the combat scene, but they're like bouncing. I think it's coming. I forget when it's coming in. And this part right here, all the lights are switching kind of like in a rock band.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all like... See, look at
Yeah.
they're bouncing in the rhythms.
That's pretty funny.
It's like they're funny. Even that is like timed perfectly.
Well, it kind of makes sense coming from Edgar, because Edgar used to do, you know, a little bit of music video stuff here and
Yeah,
there.
for sure. No,
So I'm sure that definitely
yeah, no,
pretty
it's
heavily
a
influences
great
his...
scene. It's such a great scene for that reason.
It looks like it would really hurt.
It would.
Yeah.
I'll show you what like my favorite part of this. The payoff for that scene. The payoff I love for this is see, he's connected. This is the payoff right here. The blood squirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's the payoff for that thing there. It's on the back of him. You're like, oh yeah.
Was she just on the sly, like covering up her bite wound?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's always covered it up because that was the thing, was that...
That's funny. I just never picked up on the on the small touches prior to.
Yeah, she was covering it up. Like, she had gotten bitten earlier. That's why she went to the hole to clean it up, because she didn't quite put two and two together.
Right.
She just, because she doesn't. That's what's kind of weird. She doesn't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell she's getting out of it.
Yeah.
And it's nasty, by the way. It's a nasty bite.
She'll be fine. Just walk it off.
Yeah. Safety. I love this. I love that perspective.
Yeah, the kind of point of view shot.
The FPS viewpoint.
Yeah,
because this is calling back to the. This is calling back to the FPS game that they played at the beginning.
Hmm. And also, I think there are some similar shots.
All right,
there are a ton of similarities between this and the kind of zombie episode of Spaced, right?
Oh yeah, there are.
Yeah.
All right. House of the Dead. Which one? What number is your favorite? Do you not have a favorite House of the Dead? Have you played House of the Dead? Do you know what House of the Dead is?
I've played some House of the Dead.
Probably 2 or 3 are my all-time favorites.
Because
I think 3 or 4 is one with a shotgun, where you actually like do the whole like cocking rifle thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that David is the one that suggests this. It's like, could you do this to your own mother?
Definitely not until after she turned.
I don't even know if I could do if she turned.
Yeah.
It would take a lot to me.
That would certainly be tough.
Like, this is the hardest decision for this character to make. Just like, I gotta... Because we all talk about this. We all talk about what we would do if one of our friends turned.
We all talk about shooting our moms.
No, but we talk about, like, when it comes to the apocalypse, we always talk about, like, oh, yeah, we'll just... If someone got bitten, we'll just off them. Not thinking what's going to happen if it's, like, a mother, a brother, a best friend kind of thing. Someone that's, like, in our lives, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would certainly, at every turn, I would try to quarantine the person and then just leave them in there.
I love this. This isn't exactly fair. And I love how he gives her a broken bottle like that.
Get fucked, Four Eyes.
Yes.
You know, instead of calling this a Shaun of the Dead commentary, we should really just title it a Shaun of the Dead laugh track.
It's hard because it's such a hard movie to comment because we're getting sucked into it. I mean, this happened more than once, but this is such a... Because, like, right now, like, this is such a goddamn moving scene. And it's funny watching it now again because I've seen this movie at least a dozen times, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
And just watching this scene, I'm like, holy shit. I don't think I've seen horror films in a while pull this kind of pathos.
Yeah.
Like, just... Because, like, this is like Shaun's worst day times 18 million.
And the one.
Because, like, look at... Like, I mean, he's got to, like... He knows he has to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the... It doesn't matter. You still got to shoot your own mother in the face. Oh. And the thing is that everybody but David knows, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, David's so insensitive. Yeah, he deserved it for that one. This is such a tense scene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot how tense this was.
Edgar Wright don't mess around, man.
No, he don't. And I think this is what I like about this fucking director, because we talked about this in Scott Pilgrim, but like we got the same way with Scott Pilgrim. We got sucked in, Like, it seems like when it comes to these movies, they're just damn good. Like, this is a damn good zombie film. And, like, this effect right here may be my all-time favorite effect in zombie-isms.
Okay.
Because you see David, he's getting literally just his guts eaten out right here.
Yeah, it's good.
And eventually eventually, I love this. I love what Diane does. What she uses as her weapon. The idea of, like, what are you gonna do, woman? There's nothing you can save your husband and, you know, your boyfriend or whatever, you know. You have his leg. You saw his guts eaten out. What are you gonna do?
I don't know, man. People act weird under emotional distress.
Yeah, I would say same thing. I love this. He's got to make a call. Right here. Yeah. Fuck a doodle do. I love how he has to make a call between Ed. Oh, such a great fucking moment. But it's so tense because, like, he has to, like, choose between the woman he loves and essentially
the man he loves.
Yeah,
yeah.
His brother, his platonic, you know, his hetero life mate, in the words of Kevin Smith. And it's such a, like, fucking moving scene. I love this.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, but Edgar Wright seems to be able to make, like, it feels like every choice is iconic.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I mean, just having them laying behind this bar and then having just that paused moment where all of the zombies are crowded around, all just kind of reaching in, just sort of motionless, is kind of iconic. You know, having Shaun's attire is so incredibly iconic.
It is, yeah.
And the way that it evolves and changes throughout the film.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't either. I think, like, I think what it is that it comes from a place of honesty. Because a lot of Hollywood, whether we like it or not, especially major Hollywood, and we've talked about this when it comes to, we've said this before when it came to Scott Pilgrim. A lot of major Hollywood, if they had taken this movie concept, would have just ruined it. Because they don't necessarily think like a person that appreciates it. Like, in other words, Edgar Wright's the kind of guy that grew up watching this stuff, that loves this stuff, that isn't... It's coming from this place of honesty, this place of appreciation, this place of respect and love.
Yeah, he has a certain reverence for all of his craft.
Right, and we talked about this exact same thing when it came to Scott Pilgrim, because I know that was our hearkening thing, was that if this had been in front of any other director, it probably would have been an entirely different movie. And sure, it maybe got more money, who knows? But we would have hated it. We would have been like, this is not even anywhere near honest. But because this comes from a director that loves this stuff, that appreciates this stuff, that knows how to make this honestly, because he genuinely wants to make a good movie, and not caring so much about everyone getting it or getting the references or kind of getting wrapped up into it. That's why I think this succeeds, because it just has that sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That's my take on it. Is I think because it comes from a place of honesty.
Yeah, that's certainly an element to it, but also I think there's certainly something to be said for just the immense skill that he wields.
Yeah.
Because
I love this scene right here.
You know, if we sat here and if we sat here and tried to brainstorm out if we had like an interesting concept and try to fill out a script, like, I mean, maybe we could come up with something kind of cool.
Well,
but
I mean, the thing is that you have to understand when it comes to the creative process, and you know this by doing your own things, by the way.
Yeah.
You iterate.
Sure.
It's not like this is the first draft of fucking Shaun the Dead.
No.
So I think if, for example, if I made a video game kind of a movie or some type of referential thing to that, you know, I could do that kind of film. I don't know what kind of film that would be, but, you know, that's a place of honesty for me. That's something that I know very well. If you did sort of this movie referential thing coming from that point of view, that's a point of honesty for me. It's the idea that this is the kind of film that Edgar Wright could make because he's done this. He's done this in space. He's done this sort of referential humor. And it's not like he's not experienced. He got a lot of experience through doing television, thankfully.
Yeah.
But two, everything he did, even Spaced, came from a place of honesty. When you watch Spaced, it has pathos. It has these referential things. It references comic books and Star Wars and things like that. You watch this movie, you have video games, zombies, things like that. But he's making a competent story because that's what a person like you and I, a person that takes this with reverence, that takes this saying, no, we can make a real movie in this. That's how Edgar Wright approaches it, you know? And that's why I love him as much as I do, because a lot of directors don't do that. And there's only a handful that do. Like even some of my favorite ones, like Robert Rodriguez, sometimes doesn't do that. Sometimes they go a little too crazy. Sometimes even Tarantino goes a little too crazy. Even sometimes Simon Pegg and Nick Frost when they did Paul. Some people, for them, it was a little too referential. For me, it was perfect. But then again, I love that kind of humor. But what's great about this is that you just watch these characters and you feel for them, you know.
Yeah. This was Wright's directorial debut, right?
I think it was. I mean, in terms of film, maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely not in terms of anything else. Space came out well before this.
Yeah, I know that.
It's
pretty damn impressive, though.
I love this callback too. If this ever happens in our lives, Brandt, I want you to say that to me. If we ever get into a zombie apocalypse and I have to leave you to go with my girlfriend somewhere, I want you to say that to me back if I say I love you, okay?
All right.
Just remember those moments.
It's a deal.
All right. And here we are, coming to the end. I don't know what they're going to do. Here's our last fast action montage sequence.
Yeah.
I think our second one, actually. Our second one.
Oh, really?
And I love how it's all because of her. How was Yvonne's way more successful than Team Shaun?
I don't know, man. I mean, her team was probably composed of competent people who...
Well, her team's gone. See, like, that's why their team's gone. She's alone, if you notice. She doesn't have anybody with her, so I think her team's dead.
Well, they all got her to where she's at, so...
That's how it always works in the zombie film.
Got to have somebody's sacrifice.
And then here it is. This is my next favorite part about this, is the aftermath.
Yeah.
Because it's exactly what would happen. Just like the idea of like 6 months on that this is what happens. Two, and I love the idea of them saying that Sorry, like after that, the two. That's when Nick Frost and Edgar Wright apparently come in after that scene. Two, I love the fact of this. I love that that apparently zombies have this sort of like, that they just repeat the same tasks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was Edgar Wright as the voice.
Really?
I think so. It sounds like Edgar Wright. I've heard enough stuff with him now.
Man, she really cleaned up the place.
She did. That's apparently what women do when they come into your household.
Is that what they do?
Maybe I should get a woman in here.
Yeah.
I should date somebody.
You could use it, man.
We'll one day film my apartment.
There's a reason this is an audio podcast.
There's a reason why there's only so many scenes we have in the bedroom, in the apartment. That's the only reason why I love this. I love this part. But this is that Ed's default like motion is playing PlayStation.
Yeah.
PS2 games, really. I love that. That's the default.
And that was Shaun of the Dead.
Brandt.
Yo.
Where can people find you online?
You can find me at twitter.com/Gadwag. GATOWAG.
And of course, me, you could find at Vincent404. Of course, you want to catch some of our other content, check some of our other commentaries, our reactions, our new experimental stuff that we're kind of working on. It may be out by now, may not be, who knows? But of course, you can catch all of that at CosmicRadio.TV/Cinematography. You'll find our Twitter account at Cinematography. We tend to post there a lot and share some of our future content stuff and things there. Mm-hmm. And of course, if there's any movie ideas that you have, anything you'd like us to talk about, maybe discuss, whatever it happens to be, send us an email at cinematography@gmail.com.
Yeah, what did you think about this movie in particular? Did you think it was horrible? Don't comment. Because we don't want to hear from you. Because you're a bad person.
Yeah,
but seriously, if you do, then we'll argue with you in the comments.
Yeah, I'm curious as to why you hate this movie. What it is you didn't like about Shaun of the Dead, because I don't think anyone didn't like this film.
No, of course not. They would be, I mean, a zombie might, but a human...
I don't even think a zombie would. I think a zombie would appreciate the pathos.
Actually, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I think a zombie would.
This is part of the zombie sympathizer movement, so I'm sure they would get something out of it for sure.
So that's it for today. To tune next time. Ta-ta.
Cinema. Talk to you later. It's always going to be great.
This has been a CosmicRadio.TV production. For more awesome shows, head on over to our website, CosmicRadio.TV.